This fucking piece of shit. Okay. Alright. Start server. Oh shit. Nope. Can't do that. Have to do the service menu first and fix database after crash, or I'll experience random weird issues. Oh shit. You know what, I'll look at that real quick while my stream is loading. I'm pretty sure they had some listed on the singleplayerproject.com website. Why is this all in Russian? SPP repacks. What's this? No. That's not what I want. Dev Legion. Nope. Why is this all in Russian? Game servers. WoW. Legion single player project. I'm not even entirely sure what I was doing up until the point that I crashed. I could roll back anywhere. Fuck. Or no, I already found. Okay, I already did that. Alright, well then I'm just gonna save myself time. Kargoth. There we go. That's how I make up time when my shit crashes.
Okie-dokie. Be seeing ya.
It appears there's a few of them. I don't know how old that one is, though. Last edited in 2018. I don't know how I feel about that. Last edited 2 years ago. And when was this last edited? Okay, apparently this is the best one. I might have to give this one a shot. Oh, except that link is broken. Alright, what's this guy doing?
What you want? Later.
Alright. I guess I might be doing a full clear. Except, you know what, I guess I have to. Normally I would get off right now, but like my server just, or my computer just crashed and I just got back on. It would be absolutely pointless to only stream this much. So you know what, we're just gonna do it. I'm getting some lag. See if that has anything to do with it. That usually fixes it. .404 not found. .404 not found. Wonderful.
Hello.
Um, I guess that server sucks. You know, why don't I just ask my Discord real quick?
That's your reach.
I go ahead and close Discord. That might be what's making me crash. I'm gonna have to fight my way back in this place.
Engagement page. Hello, everyone.
Diablo Immortal is about to change forever. Uh-oh. The new $110,000 grind.
Breaking down all of the normal gems. The numbers are as the equipment-based stat as well.
Right. That's how many normal gems you need? Over 250,000.
To max out your character with the new system.
Oh my
now,
god.
if we safely assume that you can get each normal gem for only 300 platinum each, on my server they're actually maximum price for everything, but let's just assume that you could infinitely buy the supply of these at 300 platinum at a cheaper price. This would give you a total of 82 million platinum.
So you only need 82 million platinum to buy everything you need.
If you buy Eternal Orbs in the amount of $200 each, it's the cheapest amount possible, meaning you can get 7,500 Eternal Orbs per $100. So let's figure out how much actual money this would cost. Okay. Now, 10 platinum is 1 Eternal Orb, so if we divide this by 10, we'll get the cost in Eternal Orbs, then we'll divide it by 7,500, then we'll get the cost in how many $100.
So that's 7,500. By the way, what he did is it, you know, again, like you guys understand what he just did, right? Do I have to explain this? Yes, he did. Oh, okay. All right. So just we can't math. All right. So basically, platinum. Every 1 Eternal Orb gives you 10 platinum. Okay. So it's 1 to 10. So then you could divide that 82. Basically, take a 0 off of it, right? Because then it would be 8.2. Because it's 1 to 10 if you're trying to get Eternal Orbs. Then, after you do that,
I know, I'm so lazy.
You take 7,500.
This is the third time I've cleared this part.
That is the amount of Eternal Orbs you get for $100, which is the highest return on investment. Highest return on money spent. So that means for every $100 you would get 7,500 Eternal Orbs. And because you need 8.2 million Eternal Orbs,
Oh,
because
they're all
that's
still
gonna
dead
give
in
you
here?
82 million Platinum, that's what he's doing. You guys get it?
We would actually need. Now we're going to times this by 100 in order to get the dollar amount, and we have 110.
Okay, so what he just did is he divided again the 8.2 million by 7.5, and that was, so how many times do you need to buy $100 worth of Eternal Orbs in order to buy every single gem at this price that is
Oh,
even
shit,
lower
he's
than
going
what
hard.
it actually is? You would need to buy Eternal Orbs for $100 1,102 times. So that is over 1,100 times you are swiping the credit card for $100 of Eternal Orbs.
This is gonna hurt.
Now we're going to times this by 100 in order to get the dollar amount, and we have $110,324 in order to max out the normal gems.
I love how he just can't even say it without laughing.
Now this is just all assuming napkin. I mean, not really napkin math. We're using a calculator, but just some philosophy behind how much it would cost.
I just get straight up interrupted. It's kind of funny.
Probably the ceiling for gems is probably 500 to 600. So like really, you're talking about probably 140 to 150,000. Because like he was using a lower price, and then also because these items are going to be in higher value, that will also drive up the price because, you know, like more demand, same value, same supply, higher price. That's the way it goes. So yeah, it's going to be even more than that. Like 110,000 is like, that's very, very low.
Just infinitely purchase these gems. Obviously, people aren't going to spend $110,000 in normal gems, so how do we get them normally for free? Now, there's such a thing as a bound and an unbound gem. For instance,
Well, if you get them normally for free, it will take you 733 years, 6 months, 5 days, and 3 hours to farm half of them.
this one has the market icon on it, and the one next to it does not. If it has the market icon, it is an unbound gem, meaning it is tradable and sellable. If it does not, it is a bound gem. Currently in the game, you can farm 12 unbound gems plus 6 bound gems per day. You can get the unbound gems by doing things like 4-player party grouping or running dungeons. Fairly simple, and you can get the the bound gems through 6 of them through a hidden lair every day. So you get a cap currently of 18 that are farmable before we talk about things like vendors.
Okay.
The occasional event will throw some normal gems out.
Right.
And of course the battle pass has some, and you can purchase some directly from the shop. And of course
Should
you can buy
probably,
them weekly, basically increasing the amount of normal gems you're getting by a few on average.
Oh,
per
wow.
day.
Okay.
It's fairly safe to add an average of 2 more on per day through
Sure.
things like the events.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna
Yeah,
start
we're
using my
averaging
raid
out
icons. That's what I'm gonna do.
etc. So let's say you can get an average of 20 gems per day. At
Watch this shit on the next poll.
Now, it has been 253 days since the launch of the game, so let's say you've realistically been farming free.
I'm gonna do 2 things. I'm gonna test the CC designation icon, and I'm going to test the pull command. I haven't tested the pull command yet.
Every single day.
All of the things,
Yes.
all of the events, all of the purchasing,
All the
never
time.
missing a day,
That's
and
right.
playing since launch.
Casual
We have
player.
yet to address the market, and let's just assume that no matter what, you could always get the gem you wanted for only 300 platinum, even though they're
then-
always
yeah,
sold
again,
out
this
on my
is a
server,
theoretical.
and they go for 400. Let's just say you could always buy the
So
gems.
again, like, keep in mind, a 300 to 400 differential, whenever you have 110,000, divide 110,000 by 3, that's like what? About, like 35,
This poll doesn't count, 'cause I didn't know that other mob was there.
33,000. So then you add
I would've CC'd it.
33,000 on top of 110,000, that's 143,000. That's a lot of fucking money. Oh, it's actually more than that, excuse me. Because 33 would have been for 100, it's 110, so it'd be 36, or 30, 37, 38.
The person
So it'd be
I'm
close
most
to
acutely aware
150,000.
of that has been free to play that said they have farmed platinum would be Apollyon Gaming. I believe he was quoted to have farmed 3.5 million, but don't put me to poor law that I just didn't.
So he's farmed it. So this guy is he's farmed the most platinum, and he's farmed 3.5 million. So then, if platinum to eternal orbs is the same, so you would divide that by 10. So that would only be 350,000.
Ruby has been stashed in a barricade Shadowforge area.
By playing all day, every single day.
And then the urn, one of the trial areas, there's some
So
last
3.5
orbs.
million platinum, let's say you have farmed since launch. Now let's divide that by 300. Let's say not only have you played since launch, but you've put every single piece of platinum you've ever got only in the normal gems, not legendary gems, not expanding your stash tab storage, nothing else. You only put it in there. That would give you another 11,666 gems.
How's it going?
We add on the 5,060 that you could have grinded free to play as well. We still only have a ranked 9 gems. We take the total amount of gems needed to have maxed out one gem. Again,
We're just gonna go ahead and go in.
We're just talking about one here.
And I'll test the poll.
So if he played every single day, all day, without missing a single day, with maximizing the events, he would almost be able to max out one gem out of 14 gems.
Move that by the amount that it would have been physically possible, and even gift him one extra. Just
Oh, this dungeon hasn't reset yet.
You can see we're still short 2,956 normal gems in order to have maxed out one of the spots. However, let's do that math again. So we still need 2,956. All right, no problem. Now let's take the normal amount of gems that you need in total to max out your character and remove it by the total amount of gems that would have been possible to have free to play at the moment, and we are looking at still need another 250,000 gems.
Alright, here we go.
Oh my god.
I am going to designate the 38 for CC, so the bots will ignore it. The moon is basically telling the bots if they have CC, like sheep or whatever, use it. If not, ignore this mob. And the skull designates high priority kill target, obviously. So I'm going to go ahead and... Normally here I would just sheep the 38 and just let the bots have at the 36. But I'm going to see what happens if I just let the tank go ahead. I'll sheep the 38. Oh, he probably got AoE'd or something. Yeah, he keeps getting AoE'd. And they will ignore him until I take off the moon. At least you're doing something productive, woman. The only thing I see the moon being useful for as a mage is if I wasn't a mage. And I had a mage in my party. Then I could designate that. But since I am a mage, that command is kind of redundant. We're going to go ahead and try pull on the next group, maybe. Or the bots are just gonna pull the whole fucking dungeon. That's fine too. Waiting for a crit to happen. There we go. Alright. Oh, you know what? I need to put some buffs on. I'm slacking.
Oh my God. So let me get this straight. So you've got 275,000. Let's actually do some math here. So you said 253 days, right? So you take 275. Let's see here. 275. Let me see. How can I actually do this? Because I want to see how long it would take to actually farm every single one of these. So divided by, we're just gonna do 16,727. Okay. And then you multiply this, so because obviously this is the amount of times that it would be divisible for.
Can I
so
cast spells,
this
please?
number right here
Good
as
grief.
a metric for each instance of 253 days. So then we're going to multiply this by 250 and 253. So this is 253. So you would need
I'm gonna go to work on the 41, I
a
guess.
little bit more than 4,000 days playing the game. And so let's go ahead and divide that by years. We'll go ahead and divide that by 365. And so we're talking 11. Okay, so I quoted you guys at 700 years. Turns out you're going to get off light. It's only going to be 11.4 years to farm, and you'll get all the gems that you need.
Oh boy, here we go.
What if they add more?
Olaf needs to die. Reduces your fall speed for 10 seconds. I love vanilla. You see this? I love vanilla. Like, there's just little niche items like this. I love it. It's adorable.
There's another problem that we aren't really even addressing, which is the market flow, meaning there are more WoWs purchasing up
Precision
than
arrows?
there are free-to-play people.
Or are you watching right now? Oh, you just up and left the chat? Huh? Fine. Okay. Alright, you're there. Tell me. Precision arrow, is that in Wrath? Projectile arrow. And it just adds 11.5 damage per second. And it's a green arrow. I don't think I've ever seen a green arrow before, except for the shitty comic book. Wasn't there another dwarf? Should have been 3 dwarfs. Where's the other dwarf? Don't tell me he clipped to the train, I'll be pissed. So it's a talent instead of an item in Wrath? Is that what you're telling me? It's literally an arrow. A projectile. Let me scroll back up. I'm going to shift click this again. Or right click it. It's right here. Right here. This is exactly what it is. It's an arrow that you can load into your bow. And this is what it does. I'm going to give you a couple seconds to look at that because of stream delay. Okay. Oh, I got somebody's medallion. Doesn't that start a quest? Oh no, that's I need to make the shaft. I already made the shaft. I think. I don't know. I forgot where I get the fucking staff from, quite honestly. Hidden in an urn next to some dwarves. These would have been the dwarves. Oh, there it is. Constipated urn. You know what? While they're doing that... Oh shit, I'm gonna snipe this healing ward for him. And where's the next one? Barricaded Shadow Forge area. Okay. These are all pretty close together, if I recall correctly. Look at me, I can polymorph. Did you see the shield that I picked up? Laura? Beacon of Hope held in offhand increases healing. I don't need that. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. You. Fuck it. I'm just gonna nuke him. Oh, these were normal mobs. I was freaking out. 12 slot bag. I don't need that, but I'll take it. Okay, let me show you the shield I got. Somebody else picked it up, I think. I greed rolled it. Hold on. They'll link it. It was a blue. No, that's not it. Oh, this one right here. See this? Look at the on use effect. It's pretty funny. Alright. It's playtime over. Oh wait, he drops the staff, doesn't he? Yep. And then I combine the two. Oh, I already had a staff. Well, now I have two of them.
You have 144p.
Hold the knob and turn the knob and let it. And anyway.
You okay over there, Bella?
I'll have them just list them again real quick. This is such a vanilla item. 1,287 armor, 22 block, which is a lot. 11 stamina. On use, reduces your fall speed for 10 seconds. Ain't that something? They don't make them like that anymore. Oh shit. I guess my hunter thought he was gonna die for some reason. We have to clear this whole room before we fight the boss. At least some of these mobs are 38, so I'm getting XP off of those. Is there a mob over here? No?
That's the recharge.
Okay, now I can plug it in.
None may steal the secrets of the Makers.
Fuck her up. I'm gonna get my 5 stacks on her. Hydroblast followed by her Fire Blast is actually pretty good. 2-button combo in a boss fight. Because your Fire Blast is pretty much off cooldown as soon as your Fire Blast is done casting. Ooh, is that better than what I have? No, it's not. Oh, video.
Basically exporting these gems onto the market.
I'll turn this up.
Is because the free-to-play people need the gems also. It's not like the
Those are the slaves, by the
I'm kind of done listening to the video
Diablo.
because it was pretty much summarized in the first half, so. What's next here?
Why most AAA games have no soul.
What is happening to the studios we love? How can they make some of the
Loved.
greatest games of all time? and
Greatest
turn
games of
around
all
and
time.
Just make disappointment after disappointment. It felt like the end of AAA games, but then Elden Ring came out.
Yep. Wait, am I in the picture? Okay, all right, good, I am. I thought I was about to get, like, just taken out. All right, I'm about, oh, man.
Why is Elden Ring such a breath of fresh air when most other AAA games feel copy-pasted? And why did this game cause so much controversy?
Elden Ring is Game of the Year? The game is
Man, to answer these questions,
To be fair, that guy speedruns the game. So, yeah, he hates it probably more than Quantum does.
we first need to
Yep.
understand
That's
when
happy, huh?
Elden Ring came out, the game defied everyone's
Wow, this is actually going to be a
Elden Ring
wipe.
sold 12 million copies.
We don't have any
No
AoE.
hits again.
Even
Yeah, see.
Miyazaki, the mastermind behind Elden Ring, was surprised by the success. And to put the sales into
Yeah.
context, Elden Ring at release was on pace to sell the same amount of copies as some of the best-selling open-world games of the last decade.
Oops.
GTA 5,
Yep.
Skyrim, and Breath of the Wild. I mean,
My
if you
fault.
really think about it, Elden Ring should not have been performing as well as these other games.
You know, I really need to go through and play the Dark Souls games.
But most FromSoft games are pretty niche, and usually
Didn't they remake
They're
Demon
extremely
Souls?
niche, and they
But that's
also
only
don't have
on
a bunch of like established IP, like Legend of Zelda or
PS5 or
Grand
whatever.
Theft Auto. Like boomers know what Legend of Zelda or Grand Theft Auto is. They don't know what Dark Souls is.
or hardcore.
Yeah, it's only a
advanced
PS5.
players. By nature, FromSoft games shouldn't sell as much as Zelda.
I have a PS3.
This time, Elden Ring did. Why? What was different about Elden Ring, and what set it apart from other FromSoft games? The answer? Nothing really. Yes, Elden Ring was
It was
open
good.
world, so unlike
Why don't you
games
let her
where
in?
you could avoid certain bosses and areas. Yes, the
Yep.
lore was some of the best I'd ever seen in a game. The world was
Quietly.
so immersive that I don't think I could ever find everything in the mysterious world of the lands between. Seriously, Elden Ring is a masterpiece. Go play this game. But I would argue that almost every FromSoft game is a masterpiece too. And just like the other Souls games, Elden Ring still targets a hardcore player base, and the gameplay is still punishing as hell. So why?
Elden Ring is a fucking joke. All of the games except for maybe Sekiro are a fucking joke. If you're having trouble in Elden Ring on a boss, ding ding, summon the fucking hats. Yes, almost. Yeah, get good.
Then is Elden Ring capturing a much larger chunk of the gaming market? There is a huge demand for high quality.
Okay, hold on.
Oh,
Not much
absolutely.
of a
Hold on.
supply.
Fuck's sake. I'm gonna teleport myself to my body to make up for my time. Okay. I don't know what they're doing, but they keep dying. Sorry, I had to have some chips. I'm like the kind of person that doesn't like sit here with a bag of chips, but I literally go into the kitchen, I open a bag of chips, and I have like 5 or 6 chips, and then I'm done. I put the bag away and I come back in here. That's why I'm so good looking, in case you want to know how to be good looking. That's what you do. You make snacking a chore. The energy that you spend getting up and going to get the snack and coming back and sitting down makes up for the fact that you're snacking at all. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. But I mean, you know, what else would you expect from me other than brilliance? I mean, come on now. I'm the best Halo 2 player in the world. So I think I should have my fair share of diet advice as well. Alright, what the fuck are we doing again? Did we even need to go in there for anything? Oh, you son of a bitch. Calm down. Alright, this is fine. This is fine. We can live with this. Oh shit, we can't live with that. No one gives a shit about your mana. Everything's fine. So what is it? 3-second cast time, 8-second AoE. I'm definitely getting the Flame Strike critical strike chance upgrade after I what was it called? Flame throwing. I'm pretty sure he drops a power source. I don't think it's the end boss that drops it. I think it's these guys. What are we doing out here? Oh, there we go. Now you're gonna have to wait. Prioritize that one, please. I've still got to give you guys your arcane buff. Oh, you didn't drop it. See, I'm not sure who drops it. See, I'm pretty sure the Trog leader is back here somewhere. Spam it. Spam it. Mana shield. Whatever. They got it. I did what I needed to do. Oh, video.
I mean, imagine you're at a restaurant and
Okay.
you have a hankering for some steak, but they're out of stock.
Okay, I go to Pancake House and I get a ribeye and eggs, but okay. And they're out of stock.
Okay.
All they have left is some burnt scraps of cooked steak they can shovel onto a plate, or you can get a delicious
Seems good to me.
honey-baked ham with a sweet honey drizzle.
Oh,
So although you
ham.
wanted a steak, you choose the honey-baked ham because the steak scraps just aren't edible. This is the triple
Yeah, they are.
we are in right now. Millions of
What the hell
gamers
do you
looking
mean?
at the piss poor
That's just a terrible analogy because I would have just left.
options, praying to Gabe, the god of Steam, to give them anything fun and exciting. Doesn't matter what genre, as long as it's good. Just give us something edible and satisfying. So when Elden Ring came out and the world saw how amazing this game was, people who were originally intimidated by Souls games looked at Elden Ring and said, screw it, let's try it out.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that came in and they started playing it because of this. And I think this also happened on a much lesser extent with Demon Souls. The reason why Demon Souls might have been more accessible is like Demon Souls is a joke of a game. It's very easy to play, easy to beat, but also it required having a PS5. And you know, I think there's like 700 and something people in the world with the PS5 right now. So you know, limited audience there. PS3, I am looking at a clip of the remastered version of Demon Souls. I am not talking about PS3. I am talking about PS5.
nothing else to play. So like the guy choosing the ham over the burnt steak, I would argue that Elden Ring's meteoric success is not only a byproduct of how good the game is, but because there's such a small supply of good AAA titles right now. Elden Ring really is
Okay,
the
I
best
remember
option
where he
for
is
it.
now.
However,
He
like
is further
every
down
industry,
this way.
there will be people who hate or love.
I refuse to
purely
look it up.
because of its
I'm
popularity.
really.
Man, do we
Let me tell you, like, the reason WoW is just so whatever now is because there's a guide for literally everything, and I'm
in the
trying
gaming industry.
my
Oh, well, I'm
best
so
not to do that.
I'm so tired of that. Like people that hate games, hate things because they're popular.
Surprising this time, many of the people who hate Elden Ring are developers at other studios.
I wonder why.
Infuriated by Elden Ring's success.
Yep.
Developer who said, Elden Ring's UX is so bad that I can only imagine FromSoft's devs smoking at their desks and using CRT
We watched
monitors.
this
I
video.
guess these developers felt that the game violated certain tenets of game development, and by violating these rules of development, Elden Ring didn't
I remember
deserve
this
its
one.
success. Why would these devs be so angry about Elden Ring's success? Who cares if Elden Ring didn't follow the rules of
I can see why the devs would be mad, because most of the time whenever people talk about Elden Ring being good, people are like, man, it's not like those other games. Those other games are fucking garbage. Elden Ring is good compared to that other game that's garbage. So yeah, it's because they're being compared with it and they're being told their game is garbage. It makes sense that they're not going to be happy about that.
game development. It's not like Elden Ring's success affects them. Well, mostly. I can see
Right.
why developers like Guerrilla Games were upset. Elden Ring released only 1 week after Horizon Forbidden West, so you could say that Elden Ring overshadowed the hype around Horizon. So Horizon possibly didn't perform as expected. The reason is petty, and in no way Elden Ring's fault, but at least I can see where the Guerrilla devs' frustration
Uh-oh.
comes from.
There you go.
Why were
Wanna take
Ubisoft
this
devs
aggro?
so upset? None of their sales were affected by the release of Elden Ring. Now, remember, these were only a few people and not the whole studio who were angry at Elden Ring. However, the response from gamers to not only the devs, but Ubisoft as a whole.
Well, I think also, like, a lot of this is like a meme. I'm sure that Ubisoft makes plenty of good games that are fun, and I haven't played one of their games for quite a while, so I can't really say. But yeah, I'm sure they probably make good games sometimes. No? Maybe I should play one. Maybe I should play one and really find out for myself.
Showed us something really interesting. Gamers are tired of playing the same. We are tired of the formulaic nature of Ubisoft in most of their community games.
It has a satisfying shooter-looter game loop, the graphics are great, the mechanics are well-tuned and executed, and the story's acceptable.
Bummer?
Yeah! It's exactly the same as all other Ubisoft games. It's just another copy-paste.
You see, when every user interface, every store, and every game looks relatively the same, we notice. It's like hotel.
I love how you can look at, like, the one thing that you will always be able to understand. You won't be able to understand the character menu. You won't be able to understand the game menu. You won't be able to understand what's happening on the screen. But goddamn, you will fucking understand immediately what the battle pass is. And if there's a gotcha system, you're gonna see, okay, this is the current banner, this is the basic banner, this is the you know, the special, like, promotional banner. Okay, these are the modifiers that increase the banner characters. Okay, yep. And then there's your two currencies.
My bots went
You buy
ham.
with your third currency, and then you buy your third currency with your fourth currency, but you could also buy the third currency with this currency from the store, and then you use that currency, what you buy with your real currency, and then there's an exchange rate of 1 to 100, but if you buy $100 of it at a time, you get 20% off for your first purchase, so it's actually a little bit like, yeah.
Art. Each piece of art is theoretically different, but somehow feels and functions exactly the same. So when the first few Assassin's Creed games came out, they felt new and exciting. Running around the Holy Land of Rome, leaping off buildings, sneaking or hiding in hay bales, it was unique. But now, I can barely tell the difference between Assassin's Creed gameplay and every other Ubisoft game. Ubisoft thinks if they just change the era and location of each game, we won't notice.
Well, it clearly is true that people don't notice because he just posted their sales figures, and it seems like people don't notice. So, like, let's keep that in mind. Number two, I think that one of the reasons why these companies choose safe options is the same reason why we get a new Spider-Man movie every other year. It's or a new Transformers movie or something like that. It's because everybody knows Spider-Man will
I add
sell.
this to my wish list.
Transformers will sell. It works. And a lot of these companies have massive
Oh, I'm not
amounts
signed
of
in,
money
duh.
riding on these investments, and they can't afford to have an L. That's the real reason.
I mean, one has knives and one has guns, right? But just like hotel art, they may look different, they don't feel any different. It's the same game with a new coat of paint. This reason is why Ubisoft devs reacted the way they did. They have been taught that to make a successful game, you need to follow a formula. So when a studio like FromSoft makes Elden Ring without the formula, and it's incredibly successful, it infuriates developers who have had their creativity restricted and pushed into a box. Now, these devs who criticize FromSoft should take full responsibility for what they said in a public forum. However, I also blame AAA studios like Ubisoft.
I get so mad about people that put out a hot take on the internet and then they get mad
One
whenever
moment.
people respond to it. It's like, bro, whenever I tweet something out and I get a bunch of hate for it, I don't cry about this. Like, yes, it might annoy me because I think they're wrong, and I'll vent about it. I'll be like, oh, these guys are so fucking stupid. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. But I'm not going to be like, oh, well, I'm getting harassed. No. Like, people disagree. That you're not it's a discussion. It's a disagreement. What's wrong with people, man? Stop talking if you don't want people to talk back.
What are you doing out there?
Forcing their teams to create unimaginative content
okay.
of the previous 10 games. We can get mad at a few devs all we want, but the real problem comes from the Ubisoft's executives choosing to be formulaic. But why are the leaders of Ubisoft and other AAA studios hell-bent on producing the same type of game?
That's
why
why.
force your devs to work on the 100th Assassin's
Oh my god. I know what that is. That's the bird from Dark Souls 1. And he's on a computer. That, bro, why is he on a why is a bird on a flat screen computer? Oh my god. Like, that's a
Creed when they want to work on something new and exciting? The answer? Stability and money.
Yep,
This may be
there it
obvious
is.
to everyone, but milking an IP over and over again is the easiest way to make money as an entertainment company.
I mean, they've resold Skyrim 10 times over the last 10 years.
The reason why we've had a new Call of Duty 19 years in a row, and also why 2020
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. This is the second version of Modern Warfare 2. That's right. And it also includes Warzone 2. The popular sequel to the popular game called Warzone that was a big favorite in 2020.
2022's top 20 best-selling games are all existing IP or sequels.
Let me
top
see.
20
Existing IP, well, obviously, like number 2, Elden Ring is not. Let's see, FIFA, yep, I'd say so. Man.
best-selling games are all existing IP or
I would argue that Sonic Frontiers is unique enough to probably not be counted. Sonic is an existing IP, and so categorically he's right by saying this. But I think Sonic Frontiers, the reason, okay, listen to why I'm saying this. It's because the premise for Sonic Frontiers is a completely open world game, and it is something that Sonic has never tried before. It's a new avenue of video game. You see kind of what I'm saying? It's an open world game, yeah. Yes, they have. But it's still Sonic. Okay, so like in my mind, I think that whenever a game
All right, we're gonna try
deviates
to pull
enough
command
from what its original premise was, it effectively becomes a new game. Even though it's not a new game, it effectively becomes one. That's how I see it. He's saying IP? No, I understand that. I'm just saying that, like, in functionality, I think Sonic Frontiers is more unique. Like, okay, can we agree that FIFA 2022 is about the same as FIFA 2023, much more so than Sonic Frontiers was about the same as the previous Sonic game? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm trying to say. That's it. Please, just that. Come on, and you can see that with.
I do so much damage though.
sequels except for Elden. Seriously, look at this. Elden
I'm basically
Ring
tanking and topping the
that
DPS.
is a new IP.
Categorically
What's
accurate.
even more crazy
True.
about this list is that 2 of the top 20 games a new IP. What's even more crazy,
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I wonder who the guy was that was like, okay, guys, I know you're gonna laugh, but bear with me here. We release Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 again. Well, what are we gonna call it? All right, get this. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. That guy right now, youngest junior vice president of the company. Made him a lot of money.
about this list is that 2 of the top 20 games were Call of Duty games, and 3 of them were sports sequels. Which
Yep.
are
Look at me,
notorious for being
kiting that
the exact
shit.
Same as their predecessor. We
No,
can
they're not
complain
the same because they changed the numbers on the jerseys. What do you mean?
about these games being sold as copycats all we want, but we're the ones buying these soulless games in droves. And for companies
They put gambling sponsors in it.
to come up with brand new games and IP is risky, so studios will make sequels for as long as possible if we keep buying them.
Yeah.
So I don't ever see studios not making sequels when we buy them year after year. That said, there is a negative effect on your brand when you don't release something new or innovative. Think about it. What is one of your favorite games? Remember when that game was released and how you felt about the developer of that game.
Yeah.
Pretty good, right? Then think about that
was
specific
Blizzard.
developer's most recent games. How do those new games compare with your favorite game? And how do you...
I mean, I feel like it's like From Software. Obviously, I'm very happy about. I with Blizzard, I like Dragonflight, and I actually like Overwatch 2. Weird situation there. With Nintendo, I feel like Nintendo takes so many shots, they miss a lot of their shots, but I'm actually really looking forward to playing Sonic Frontiers. I haven't played it yet. I'm going to play through the whole thing.
How do you feel about that developer now? Probably not great. For me, it was Blizzard and Warcraft 3. This game made Blizzard my favorite developer, and I wouldn't allow a bad word to be said about them. But now, Blizzard has released
shit.
cash grab,
Stuff's happening.
not to mention everything else they have done. I can't help but look at Blizzard.
Well, they did. You got to keep that in mind. And done is also past tense as well, so, you know, minor nitpick there. I mean, there's no evidence that there's any sexual weird stuff happening at the offices, and there's no way it could happen because in Preach's video, nobody was at the office. Problem solved. Wow, we don't have any more problems of sexual harassment. Yeah, because nobody's there. There we go. Totally issue solved.
It's disappointment. A bad game happens sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
But Blizzard hasn't made a good game since 2016 with Overwatch. Not to mention they somehow butchered Warcraft 3.
I would say, I would argue that I actually think that I think Dragonflight is a good game. I also think that Legion in a lot of ways was ultimately a good game. And I would even go as far to say that I think Overwatch 2 is a good game. That's right. I will say it right now. Right now.
Well, there goes the healer.
And by the way, while we're on the topic, why the fuck does every other fucking person get sponsored to play Overwatch 2 except me, and I'm the only person that goes out of my way to defend it? What a bunch of shit that is, huh?
The release of Reforged.
Can't believe it.
I just can't imagine defending Blizzard anymore. The Blizzard brand has fallen from one of the greatest video game developers to a company that is compared to EA. But as we saw with Blizzard in the beginning, the opposite
I feel like that's also like there's a certain amount of like gamer circle jerking that's happening there. Because like EA, it's in the game. Bro, people love Madden. People love these games. Like, try to step outside of your fucking little box and realize that there are a bunch of people that buy the new game every year and they love the new game because they like playing those games. It might not be popular on YouTube commentary, but just because you're not the target audience doesn't mean the game is bad. It's like whenever I go and I watch some, you know, like that, you know,
I'm about to do
weird,
some
like,
repairs.
fashion dress-up game on like the Nintendo Direct. I'm not the target audience for that game, okay? I'm pretty sure I'm not. But guess what? Somebody else is, and they might like it. Yeah, like most mobile games. Yeah, exactly. Like people are just so, yeah, FIFA's massive. Yeah, FIFA's huge. Huge bad take, Asmon. Explain to me why that is a bad take. FIFA and those sports games for normies anyway. Yes, they are. That's who they're there for. It's an objectively money grab game.
I think I'm gonna stop doing that.
Every game is a money grab. What are you talking about? They're making all of them for money.
Better simulate their being real players or whatever.
All I'm saying is that these games that people are shitting on constantly, maybe have you ever considered that they just weren't made for you? Like, I don't understand. That's what people want the new Madden. They want the new game with the new jerseys. It's stupid, but they want it.
When you release something new that just blows people away, like Elden Ring, gamers will have your back, even if the game isn't perfect. I mean, look at one of the biggest controversies on YouTube, featuring the Act Man and Quantum TV.
This guy made a video saying like Elden Ring sucks or something, and he hates everyone that plays Elden Ring. So Act Man made a video about like the worst take in Elden Ring.
The drama from these Elden Ring videos escalated to way more controversial stuff, like bigotry, copyright, demonetization, and the Act Man trending as the number
this was a war
story on Twitter. But all this stemmed from arguments about Elden Ring. Why? Because FromSoft had gained some huge brand.
No, it's because all of these fucking self-appointed, like fucking, they're like the musical hipsters. They're like, yeah, I don't like Drake, I don't like Kanye, like I don't listen to any of them. Like my favorite artist is Aesop Rock, and you know I don't listen to any popular music. Anything that's on the radio, like they totally sold out. They're like so bad. It's like, what the hell's wrong with you? Yo, Aesop Rocks, he's great. He's fucking amazing. None Shall Pass is like one of my favorite songs. But listen, so is Drake, so is fucking Kanye. Absolutely. Yeah, they're also good. It's just people whose personality is not liking what's popular.
For releasing pure art. And like any extravagant piece of art, people will have visceral reactions, both positive and negative, which is also why people get so angry when you change the story and lore of video games. TV shows like Halo, or The Witcher. I mean, Witcher 3 was a beloved game. And a piece of art to
people don't get angry that you changed the lore. People get angry that you made the lore worse. Very different.
So many people. Not to mention the comments.
Well, it's basically a
When you mess up the
boss.
story and lore in the show, the community isn't toxic when they react negatively. They are passionately asking for you to respect that piece of art as they do. Now, all this said, I don't just want to bash on AAA studios and walk away. True constructive criticism should have ideas for improvement, not just ranting. So if I had the opportunity to consult a AAA studio, I would suggest the Pareto principle to be applied company-wide. This principle, also known as the 80-20 rule, is the observation that roughly 80% of consequences come from 20%. One company effectively applying this technique is Google. During my time at Google, I saw how they allowed their employees to spend 20% of their time working on something the individual thought would most benefit them. Both Gmail and AdSense came from this practice, and the former made Google more than $54 billion just in 2022. An applicable example is Fortnite. The original Fortnite concept was developed from the game put on by Epic.
And it's also, there's that, and then some other examples of that is that pet battles in WoW that are like a big popular feature. People like them, and like obviously, you know, again, maybe we're not the target audience for that, but a lot of people do like pet battles. They were made just by like one guy. And a lot of things like this have just been made by like one guy. He just came up with this idea, and there it is.
Although they don't strictly follow every rule, a game jam is just one example of its application. Letting your team take time to work on new and innovative ideas, producing pure creativity with no deadlines. And creativity is the key to longevity.
Yeah, creativity doesn't make money though. That's the problem.
Need to constantly innovate to stay alive, and it's what the AAA industry desperately needs right now. So how can we get more games like Elden Ring? AAA studios need to allocate 20% of all their resources to working on new and innovative games. No deadlines, no parameters, just pure creativity. Let your developers work part-time.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna re-release Assassin's Creed again. Yeah, I think that's what they're gonna do instead. Yeah, let's release Assassin's Creed again and see if that sells. Oh, it does? Oh, remember that game you used to play? We'll play it again.
On something they are passionate about and be amazed at what they'll create. I'm not saying stop making sequels. As we saw, AAA studios make a lot of money from sequels, and sequels aren't always a bad thing. I'm stoked for a Hollow Knight 2, and I pray for a Warcraft 4. However, for AAA studios to be profitable while garnering the love and support of the gaming community, AAA studios should look at Elden Ring as an example to stop making formulaic games.
Can we also admit that Elden Ring was very formulaic in a lot of ways?
It's true.
It's just that they used the From Software formula.
Yeah, it was Dark Souls, but more open. Well, it was.
But you can go from playing Dark Souls 3 to Elden Ring, and like 80% of what you did in Dark Souls 3, it's like, oh, I get this, I understand that, okay, this works the same
Elden
way.
Ring.
Okay, so these are Titanite shards, got it, okay, and alright, so this is where you upgrade your gear, got it, alright, so this is Firelink Shrine, okay, Round Table Hold, okay, and then, okay, so you can use parry with the smaller shields, and then, okay, heavier weapons, so you have more poise, right, okay, got it. Yeah, like a lot of this, so it's not about the 80-20 rule, it's about either one of these numbers being a shit number. Yeah, it's a bad foundation. The reason why it worked well and the reason why everybody, like, one of my most popular videos recently.
Oh, I got fucking raped.
About that Dark Souls 3 mod. That's the main thing.
While applying Pareto's principle to let their developers conceptualize and build masterpieces. Hey, thanks to everyone who joined our Discord and submitted their favorite indie games for this week's video. The indie game our community voted as their favorite for this video was Inmost, made by Hidden Layer Games.
I don't know what that is.
A platform game that is currently being sold on multiple platforms.
They should be able to pull this out.
Join our Discord to let us know what game we should feature next.
Oh, maybe not. Thanks, Dad. But there's 3-on-2. And vanilla elites are pretty hardcore.
I mean, a pretty good video. I liked it a lot. And so Elden Ring is 80% Dark Souls 3, pretty much 80-20 the main. Yes.
Shit.
Yes, Chip it. No, I think this is a great video. I liked it a lot, but the only part of it that I disagree with is the fact that I don't like how,
I missed that fucking flame strike.
I don't like how there's so much of a fixation on... There's so much of a fixation... This happened in Retail WoW for a reason. It will happen in Classic WoW too. Oh boy.
Faction balance has been a pretty hot topic from day one of Classic. After all, it is one of the first choices you make when you commit to your character, Horde or Alliance. This choice will determine who you can interact with, trade with, communicate with, and play with before you can even log into the game. It's a pretty big deal. And on Classic, your faction matters. Well, it used to. Maybe that's less of the case nowadays. After all, we still do have the old school...
Yeah, on Retail, faction does still matter a bit, but not as much, yeah.
PvP and PvE.
Dude, this was, like, so fun. It's like in... Phase 2 PvP was like kind of bad in a lot of ways, but it was really good in some ways too. This was really fun.
Server split and being the minority.
I remember I would log on and I would play every single day, and then whenever they added Battlegrounds, I pretty much quit the game.
Faction on a PvP server is simply not an experience that many players would actively seek out. That lone warrior fantasy traveling the lands by themselves runs into problems when you realize so much of the content in the game quite literally requires a group, and you can't even go and pick herbs out in the open world without being ganked. Over time, we've seen a shift from somewhat balanced servers in the early days of Classic.
Oh, this seems balanced to me. Yeah, totally normal, guys.
To the player base on the vast majority of servers actively sorting themselves onto realms where they are the majority. Realms where they are technically PvP tags, but where world PvP no longer happens. The 99%...
That way the classic boomers can still have their ego about playing on a PvP server, but there's nobody on the other faction.
Of one faction and the 1% of the other servers, and this has been a choice that the players have actively made and that Blizzard has failed to stop. Nothing has really ended up changing with how the servers work. It's been like a copy-paste of what happened with the retail version of the game. Players realized more people are on a different server from themselves and ended up making the swap, be it from real money or a free transfer. Except in Classic, as it tends to be the case,
fucking dead again.
At a much faster rate. After all,
forgot to put my buffs on.
Faction is inherently a massive restriction. It's required for such simple things in the world, and of course players will...
Yeah, I think the faction makes a lot more sense in like Classic WoW, but overall, I don't think this would really be a problem if it was just better designed. But the reason why they can't design it any better is because it's Classic, so it's like fundamentally the same as it used to be, which just back in the day, there were a lot of problems with the game. It's not like the problems started after Wrath. There were a lot of problems in Wrath.
Trend towards the best, largest environment where interactions can happen.
Yeah,
you might even think the game would do better.
Well, there's no value in having there's nothing that makes being on a dead server better other than like being able to maybe kill rare spawns more often. Like it's pretty much like you trade off like 100 positives for like 100 positives for like 3 positives that don't matter.
without the restriction of factions. Let players choose their allies and their enemies within the game, instead of having such an arbitrary system which determines it for them. But then again, that wouldn't be very Classic-like, would it? And whilst the server situation may be a bit too far gone, if we look at the sources we have available, such as Ironforge.pro, about the total numbers of characters across both factions, they are not too far off from one another. About 47% Alliance
That's
to
pretty good.
53% Horde. A bit of a skew towards the Zogs, but nothing too crazy, I would say. If Classic has shown us one thing though, it's that if things don't change, history does tend to repeat itself. There's something which happened on retail World of Warcraft over a very long period of time, something that has started to happen during Wrath of the Lich King, and something that hasn't been fully remedied and embraced as a major expansion feature until Dragonflight.
And what's
what
that?
started off as flavorful racial bonuses has escalated into things such as sharding, war mode, and finally cross-faction play. And the same problem...
I think sharding, war mode, and cross-faction play made the game better. I will tell you that. Now, I think that cross-faction play, maybe not in like classic WoW, I think that it did make the game better. 100%. As somebody who's played retail WoW for the whole time around, sharding is only bad because it is done badly. It is not bad on a fundamental level.
That led to these solutions will happen in Classic. Today I'm going to explain why something so small as a difference in racial bonuses led to Blizzard breaking down the faction barrier nearly 2 decades later. Ulduar in Wrath Classic is the right time to be making this video too, because throughout Classic so far, you've nearly always gone into
I found where I needed to go.
I wonder what the bosses will be dropping tonight, not I wonder if we're going to be progressing any further on this boss tonight. Sure, there have been fights with a degree of challenge throughout Classic so far, but Ulduar will be a step up on another level, since it's the first raid to ever offer an optional difficulty in
Makes me, bro, I can't even see Ulduar and not get mad. I just look at the boss, it makes me mad. I see his face, I say, oh, fucking bitch.
Hard mode, which has been specifically tuned up for a greater level of challenge. And whilst I can't say how...
Keep in mind, also the loot has been improved as well.
Trial of the Grand Crusader or Icecrown Citadel Heroic will measure up, because we don't know if Blizzard's going to be buffing them or not. This trend of a divide between normal mode and heroic mode only grows
Dying again.
World of Warcraft goes on. The first tier of Cataclysm, should we get there, will be hands down harder than anything in Wrath, and it won't even be close. And as
it was insanely fucking hard.
I'm just gonna have to start doing how I was doing it in the other servers, where I just put them on flea and pull myself.
Heroic ICC 25 men down to 10-man normals, wiping on Magma. Like Omnitron defense system, wipe fest. It was fucking brutal.
raiding gets harder, people look towards the top end for guidance, tips and tricks, and to see how they are setting up and building their characters, including, of course, racials. Now I just want to mention here, this isn't supposed to devolve into a what racials are best in Wrath Classic, or a classic good retail bad thing, or a but you guys have this for PvP so it's okay we have better racials in PvE thing. It turns out you give people a faction and they get rather tribal about it. And the thing is, we know for a fact which racials were better and which ones have the largest impact. A recent blue post on a change to Unholy Death Knight summon gargoyle ability in Classic even highlighted a specific example where a racial made a huge difference, to the point where this one race combined with this class and spec could beat anyone else in the game every single time.
Well, it's just not fun to play a game whenever one class does way more damage than everybody else and nobody else even has a chance for competing against it. That's the way it was in Classic with warriors and rogues and like mages and warlocks to an extent. I think like obviously like towards the end of Nax you had a lot more more classes on the meter, but like in Wrath it was just DKs. It was DKs and that's it. Get good, stop whining. You can't get good. If you were good, you'd know that you couldn't do that. It's not good design to have a class that just does more damage than everybody else and nobody else can even get close to it.
You put two people of equal skill, equal gear, who get the same RNG during a fight against one another, Player A is playing a troll, player B is playing, well, it doesn't matter to be honest, because player A wins every single time.
That's right.
Player B probably isn't going to feel too good about that either. Berserking has to be one of the most extreme examples of a racial which was left overpowered for so long it's hard to believe. I went and checked and it was only moved down from 20% haste to 15% in Warlords of Draenor. This is just one example of a racial that more performance-oriented players may look towards though. Even in Wrath of the Lich King right now, how big of a difference are these racials making at the top end? Well, I went through the logs for the top 100 players in raid damage for Phase 1, and have a guess out of the top 100 players, how many Alliance were there? If you said a grand total of 0, you would be right.
0 out of 100 are all, okay, yeah, big fucking surprise, are all Alliance. Again, and you know what this does is it creates like this trickle down effect where like the hardcore players go Horde because that's the best, and then the semi-hardcore players go Horde because that's where the hardcore players are at and that's where they want to play with, and then the casual, like maybe hardcore a little bit players go over there because that's where the semi-hardcore players are and that's who they want to play with. So it just creates this trickle down effect of everybody moving over there because they want to have the best opportunity to play with the best players.
Top 100 logs for overall raid damage in Phase 1, 100% Horde. I thought there might have been 1 or 2, so I decided to extend the search a bit. How many Alliance are there in the top 1,000 logs for Phase 1?
Like 2,
1,000
right?
is a big number after all, and yes, there is going to be a few. It's not that bad. But if you said there was, out of 1,000 logs, 56 Alliance, that would be correct. And to be honest, the majority are in 2 guilds which are setting themselves up for passing success, but that's kind of how passing goes. So overall, if we look at the population for Horde versus Alliance across all realms, you'll remember it's about 53% Horde players to 47% Alliance. Now if we look at the population for the top 1,000 performers in Phase 1, 95% of them are Horde, 5% are Alliance.
So guess what's going to happen? More and more people are going to go over to Horde. And then at a certain point, whenever people
I don't have any mana.
Everybody's going over to Horde, then everybody goes over to Horde because that's where it's easier to find groups.
But this all doesn't really matter, does it? The top-end Giga Min-Maxi players are always going to do the best thing for their DPS and for their character, and very high-end passing is sketchy anyways. It's just creative loopholes to get around rules to inflate your number on a third-party website. This is just 1%.
It's crazy to me how much people care about parsing, but I used to do the same back in the day.
Doing 1%.
These mobs are so tanky.
It seems truly unimportant. And many years ago, this was also the situation on retail too. However, much like the servers going from relatively balanced to monofaction, this will have long-term effects, and it does start right at the top with the 1%. It also starts alongside raids getting harder. The top players start making the swap to their best race, not just to pass or to speedrun.
Because that's another thing about Classic WoW, is like in Classic WoW, you could carry a rep paladin. It didn't matter. But like in Wrath, it gets harder, so it becomes more important to bring the better comps. So it's like if they made, like for example, if they made Nax Ramus in 60 Nax, if they made it like twice as hard, like let's say, but like guess what would happen? There would be no rep paladins and no moonkins, because less people can afford to lose that DPS because of the efficiency.
But to get the first clears in gear which can barely scrape by the DPS requirements. And in Classic we've had plenty of knowledge in advance of the faction to play to push performance more and more. And Warcraft logs that we just looked at, that really...
Bro, if they're popping hero to kill the heart, they're not killing this boss.
He supports it as well. Raiding is also incredibly popular in Classic. Over the past 2 weeks, there were over 20 million individual passes logged worldwide. I think retail raiding picked up in popularity considerably over time too, but it isn't as big as it once was.
And it never will be. Retail raiding is dying because raids are harder to do. They're more annoying. They waste more of your time, and they give you oftentimes worse gear for comparative difficult content.
A lot more difficulties in
Mythic
retail,
plus
so
guild
it's kind
raiding.
of hard to see everything in one place. But as more people get invested into raiding and to look to the top end players for help, more and more people see the fact that if I really want to improve, I should be playing a certain faction.
Exactly.
It
This
leads
is what
to a
happened in
mental
retail.
reinforcement that if I want to be good and play with good players, I should be on the Horde. This is the point where it starts to not just be the 1% anymore. It's trickling down to players who are going to take 1 month to clear the latest raid, but see and think they need to be playing a certain faction to do so. Eventually,
That's right.
Mythic raiding releases. Raids start getting even harder. We also have Mythic Plus, another feature that's only available to players on your own faction. By this point, there's been years of Horde dominance in the PvE scene. Do you want to guess when the last World First was won by an Alliance guild in WoW? It was Madness of Deathwing in Kata, and I'm just saying.
Nah, that can't be true. Nah, bro, there's no way. There's no way that's... Nah, bro, like, there's no way.
The world's best guild at the time, Paragon, who were Horde by the way, got a ban for this tier. That probably helped out the situation quite a bit, but after so many years of the thought that you should be Horde to compete and to be able to clear, it eventually came true. Enough of the player base that did want to push performance, that wanted to try high keys, that wanted to find a guild to move to Mythic, ended up moving to Horde. Alliance guilds made shifts towards playing on Horde servers and saw their pool of applicants go up 10 times overnight.
It was this one time I did a group and I was like, okay, who wants to come and join my group for Mythic Castle Nathria? I had like 5 people apply. And then I said, okay, let's just test this out. Let's see who's going to join my group for Mythic Castle Nathria on Horde. And I made a group. Like 37 applicants instantaneously, 38, 50, 80, 120, you know, we're capping out like 153. It's like, okay, now it's going all the way up to 160. Bro, like everybody's there. People are ready. They're linking like Realm First achievements. They've got best in slot gear. You go back to Alliance and this guy's like, oh, well, I don't have the item level, but me and my friend, we thought we could maybe just go over and join. Oh, it's for Castle Nathria? Oh, fuck. I thought it was for Siege of Orgrimmar. Never mind. We're trying to get the shoulders from the last boss. Oh, bro. Like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that. And that was it. Alliance is awful.
Invested in Mythic Plus, made the swap and found the group finder full all day, every day. This was not the experience they could have had on the Alliance. And finally, from starting with the 1%, moving down to the semi-hardcore, this eventually hits the casual players, and this is where it really becomes a problem. My friends have moved to the Horde. I can't play the race I want to in a fantasy world due to faction restrictions. I was a casual player in a guild, and now they've left the server. They're all gone. Would you say this won't happen again on Classic, or the ball to get this whole situation rolling hasn't already set in motion? You know, the faction change feature in the cash shop came out in original Wrath, and Blizzard have mentioned plans to bring it back for Wrath Classic. It's just not in yet. There's going to be plenty of very...
I think that it would be a mistake to add faction change, because if they add it in, then everybody is just going to swap to Horde. That's really the truth. Yeah, it's already in. Oh. Uh-oh.
Swift re-rollers, I am betting. So can we stop this whole situation from happening again? Well, I mean, not having faction transfers helps a lot, if I'm honest. At least people
I'm gonna get a different DPS in here. I don't want to wipe again.
The swap, even if it meant they would be...
But like, that's not a good thing. Like, the problem is, like, the way to solve this problem is not to just not do it either. Because I think it's really shitty that people that are playing the game should have to, they should have to just like play on an inferior faction. Like, they should just let you do what you do in retail. Just group cross-faction in instances. I mean, that's what I think they should let you do.
Able to improve their raid
that
performance.
simple.
Perhaps this feature shouldn't come back to the game after all. Do we remove racials? I mean, it would certainly work in the most boring way possible, And let's be honest, if racials were ever going to be removed, it would have been experimented with at some point by now in Arena, and it hasn't.
Yeah.
I don't think this is even worth considering. Well, just to balance the racials then, duh. If only it was that easy. It can't happen ever unless they're all the same. Racials are a choice, and when you have a choice, there will be better and worse.
Well, that's not entirely true. Like in retail WoW, there's a lot of diversity with what classes and what races people play. There actually is. If you go and you look at the class makeup and the race makeup in these different classes, in these different fights, you will see a lot of different types of players, right? Like not in PvP. Well, okay, all right. Let's look right now. Arena 3v3 ladder. Let's look at the top 10 warriors. Okay, and we're gonna look at solo shuffle. Let's look at 3v3 top 10 warriors. Okay, one. Let's see. Jesus, this is not looking good for us. Okay. Wow, this is really. Oh my god. I'm gonna just do all the warriors from the first and the second one. Okay. So there we go. And come on, where are they? Oh, there's two. Okay, good. All right, so we've got dwarf, night elf, or is that, yeah, night elf, iron dwarf, orc, blood elf, orc, gnome, dark iron dwarf, human. There you go. So look at that. That's pretty fucking good. So yes, that's
Guess I'll
actually
go ahead
true.
and kill
Like,
this
I'm
guy
not
since
lying.
I'm here.
That's choice for you. Oh, should we just throw the floodgates open and have cross-faction play? If you remember, Classic has cross-faction battlegrounds and has had them since as early as TBC. That certainly did not happen back in the day. If PvPers can have it, what about the rest of us? Or do we just not need to think about this yet? Cross-server play was a thing long before cross-faction came in retail, and for Classic, it doesn't look like we're getting cross-server for PvE anytime soon, if ever. We still don't even have the looking for...
Yeah, I think they should make cross-server for PvE content in Wrath. I think that playing on a dead server is a bad experience, and I don't really care about like immersion whenever the alternative for that is ruining another person's experience. As somebody who plays on a dead server, my experience in the game is vastly diminished and made like much worse because of the server that I play on. Straight up, just for that.
Dungeon system in Wrath Classic. On top of that, the bigger servers in Classic are locked. Unless you already play there, you cannot move a new character there or make a new character.
Yeah.
This has been the case for some time. One of the big things that kept the trend moving towards re-rolling Horde was that everyone knew the big servers, and since on retail they can split the population up via sharding, there weren't restrictions on the transfers as there have been in Classic. These two differences between the retail and the Classic versions of the game might be bigger than we think. Overall, looking at the situation,
so now I just need a Sapphire.
How top-end players are already heavily trending towards Horde in Classic. I can't help but think what's happened in retail will repeat itself in...
And see, I'll show you guys what the problem with parsing is, okay? Watch what Willy does here.
...towards Horde in Classic. I can't help but...
Right here, if Willy got Frost Nova'd here, he would have Nova'd the tank and also these guys.
Think what's happened.
And then he moved right here. If he had got targeted, it would have Frost Nova'd all of these people. But it doesn't matter because he's parsing. He's trying to parse. He's trying to do as much damage as possible.
In retail will repeat itself in Classic, and as per usual, at a considerably faster rate. Perhaps how the servers are in Classic with locks and no faction transfers is doing more work than we give it credit for, and this all won't be a problem until the casuals start to feel the effect, by which time, of course...
Yeah, and the casuals started feeling the effect of this, like, back in, like, I don't know, like, I'm trying to think about, like, what expansion this was.
Oh boy, here we go.
It was some point in... Fuck, like, I would say, like, BFA, and then into Shadowlands. It was getting really bad.
it's far too late. But those are just my thoughts on the
yeah,
game
I just
after
got
having
whacked.
played it for, you know, a little while. You reckon this will be an issue in Classic at all, where everyone feels forced to go Horde eventually? And is there a solution to this which you think could realistically work? That's all for today though. As always, thank you all so much for watching and for listening in. And I'll see you all in the next one very soon.
Here it is. Personally, I think that they should just make it to where you can play cross-faction and cross-server. There's no value in having servers. They improve nothing for the player. They are a technological limitation, and they make the game worse for anybody who's not in a beneficial server. There's no reason for it to exist. There's no reason for it to exist like back then, other than...
Okay, for the sake of time.
That's it. Yeah, there's the video. I'm tired of no changes mentality. I'm all in. Yeah, they need at some point to actually make the game better. I think they should assign an alliance server.
I'm gonna repair my gear. I'm gonna have to do another round.
Obviously, like having auto balancing.
And that's fine.
Effectively like sharding. I was alliance on a horde majority PvP server. It was absolutely miserable. I was getting griefed and camped just for existing in the realm.
Oh shit! I didn't mean to do that.
Tolerate it and play along with the world PvP, as I had enjoyed it as a kid. But with everyone min-maxing stuff now, it's not the same because everyone wants to have the highest advantage they can get, which is what I think contributed to the drastic shift in the server population balance. Yep, there you go. I eventually transferred off to an ally server because I couldn't even play the game anymore. Yep, there you go. Time Preach suggested that such strong bonuses like haste or attack power buffs can be tied to progressions rather than races.
I'm gonna get off here.
I hope Classic Engineering does this. Yeah, but that creates another problem.
And tomorrow I will finish the dungeon.
Let's see here. Faction divide only works if you have one giant mega server. Otherwise, one side will always dominate a server eventually. I think that's definitely true too. Until that server goes one faction. Yeah, I think the reason why Classic servers never really had that issue is they didn't last long enough for it to happen. Because usually things start pretty balanced, and then as people see that they are imbalanced, it just becomes more and more imbalanced. That's the way things go. Let's see.
I'm gonna go in the end here.
The only thing that'd be harmed is
I'm actually gonna go ahead and make this my her spot. This is a good middle area.
Well, I think that you can keep world PvP, but I do think war mode is better. I feel like war mode is like an objectively better version of world PvP. I don't think there's any value that is created in forcing people into non-consensual PvP situations.
Toodles.